It's Sarah from Spark Practice, and I'm going to tell you how my wardrobe malfunction was held hostage on the internet for a month. So, my senior recital was at the end of my undergraduate degree at CCM, the Cincinnati Conservatory, and it was an awesome program. It was the second Bach Suite, Handel Halverson, and the Rebecca Clark Sonata. It was really cool, and awesome people were playing with me. I was really lucky, all of that. So, I start to play the Bach. And after I stopped rowing, because I went to Cincinnati on a rowing scholarship, after I stopped rowing, I gained a lot of weight. And so I was like, it was very, very heavy. Yeah. And so I start playing, and my dress that has spaghetti straps, one of the straps decides to take a vacation. And by the end of the prelude of the second suite, where we have those chords before we come back in to finish the prelude, I reach over and I pull it back up. But my dress is like this. The entire right side of me is exposed. And so what happens is that the camera person zoomed in while this was happening, which was horrible. And then I just kept playing. I didn't stop to pick it. I didn't know what to do. That had never happened to me. But it ended up being kind of like the thing, like miscongeniality, where she falls down and she's like, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? I could fall down. I already did that. So the rest of my recital went pretty well. Really well. Anyway, years later, like 20 years later, I'm going to play the Rebecca Clark, and I'm looking through my old videos, and I find the recording of my senior recital. And so I put it on YouTube to just store it there. And my intention is to put it up on YouTube and then cut it really quickly, because you can take parts out of videos. And I didn't have I needed to do it there. But what happened was that YouTube held it hostage because there was a copyright claim on it. And when there's a copyright claim on something, you can't modify anything about the video, description, anything. So people over the last month saw this. I was able to edit it today. So sorry, you can't see it anymore. But my end of undergrad wardrobe nip slip was live on the internet for an entire month. And going back and playing the Rebecca Clark was really interesting because so much has happened since I played that recital. I quit playing for 5 years, not long after that event. I came back to it in my own way. I moved countries. I started taking lessons again with a former principal of the opera, the Paris Opera. I went back to school here. I did so many things. I got attacked in the street and they broke my hand. I've had multiple surgeries on my left hand, and now I have a completely different left hand. And I've had to learn to play like 3 times, and 2 since this recital. So I see the person that I've become and the player that I've re-become several times that made me a ninja at practicing, but also ouch. And it's a really interesting kind of full circle moment, because what I see in the video, like, I'm really proud of how the Rebecca Clark sounded. So please go check it out if you want to see like 22-year-old me sawing away on Rebecca Clark. But what I was missing then, I had the sports background already. I had already done the rowing thing and stopped rowing. I had the top musical training thing. I was with Kawasaki. He's amazing. I had a little bit of the neuroscience thing because I'd always been a geek and was planning on going to med school and got into pre-med and did the whole thing. But you can see, like I can see, that the mental game in music wasn't there yet. And I feel like that's one of the big differences between who I am now and who I was then. And I see that person on the screen who just survived a nip slip, who's ready to play the rest of her recital. managing it as best she can, and I'm really proud of her. And also, I really wish that she had the tools to practice better, to cultivate that supportive mindset, and to build those performances in a way that just helps you be rock solid and invincible, and that I get to do now with my students. So I go back and I give her grace, and it's fun to listen to her. And also, I wish she hadn't suffered so much. And I'm really grateful that I get to help people now with these tools that I've developed over time. Because, yes, the neuroscience part, I went all in. The sports background, I understand better. The top musical training didn't stop there. And what's really cool is that I've added the neuroscience part to it. So, what that means is that I get to go in and look at what part of mindfulness is grounded in neuroscience, bring it all together, and it just up spirals. Intentional practice is an up spiral. And it's such a pleasure to be able to share that. So, long story short, the video had the copyright claim taken down a couple days ago, and I got to it this morning where I could trim that part out. So, sorry, can't see that anymore. But please go enjoy me 20 years ago being the best interpreter, musician, violist, chamber partner, person that I could be at that time. And I invite you to do that for yourself. But now, with all of these cool tools that help us live it slightly differently, go further, um, and really show up as ourselves on stage and in the moments that are important. All right, have a good day. I'll see you in the practice room.